I like turtle. I like turtle. I like turtle.
All right, what's up, Turtle Riders? How are we all doing out there tonight? Good? Everybody all set? I've gone ahead and I've shared this link to the Turtleboy Sports Forever page, as well as the Clarence Woods Emerson page. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my mic right now. Get a little crisper sound. Oh, wait. It's already on that one. Okay. So that must have been, that theme song must have been a little distant, huh? Distant? Because I had the wrong mic on there. So, all right, guys, welcome to the show. I've shared, like I said, I've shared this link on the Clarence Woods Emerson page and the Turtleboy Sports Forever page. Do me a favor and share that up for me on Facebook if you can. Let people know that we're live over here. We have alternative ways of communicating with people besides just, you know, the blog and stuff like that. I'm also going to go ahead and tweet this out. I'm on Twitter, by the way, at Real Uncle TB. That's at Real Uncle TB. Okie dokie. There we go. All right. Just a reminder too, guys, I'm going to go ahead and toss the fundraiser in the comments. Getting demonetized by YouTube is actually the best gift Bristol Blarney ever gave us. We actually got the monetization back, and I just don't turn it on for the super chat because Google takes like 30% of that, and there's no need for that. So PayPal it is. So there's the PayPal link. If you guys want to donate to that, I will read off any comments that you put up there during the chat. And yeah, that's it. All right. So we got a good audience here with us tonight. Tonight is election night. How many of you guys voted? Anybody vote today? Who didn't vote? I guess only the massholes voted. Sometimes I forget. We have kind of a big following all over. And I will be talking about the wiretapping update shortly. I don't want to start with that, but there is some interesting updates on there. I voted. I don't know how you guys voted. I took the Rayla's not in my district, so I took the Democratic ballot because I didn't really care about the Ed Markey election. I didn't think that was going to be close. I thought Ed Markey was whoop his ass. I hate Ed Markey again, but I hate the Kennedys. I hate him so much. I just detest them. How can they are they had a good run like 50 years ago. All the good ones got killed. And then that everything since then has been a joke, an absolute disgrace. Like Ted Kennedy was the beginning of the end of the Kennedy era. I don't understand the infatuation with the Kennedys. They're the closest thing we have to royalty in this country and especially in this state. Joe Kennedy is not like he's my age. He's done nothing except be born into wealth his entire life. That's it. He's a ginger. So you know what that means. He's evil and can't be trusted. Clearly. I don't understand how anyone could vote for that guy, but they like him because he's a fucking Kennedy. But he's like annoying. He's like a pussy Kennedy. Like Kennedys are supposed to be historically, they're supposed to be like fair, well thought out, you know what I mean? Empathetic to a degree, but still tough. Like John F. Kennedy got us through the freaking Cuban Missile Crisis and the Civil Rights era. You know, some of the rockiest times in American history, John F. Kennedy guided us through. What's Joe Kennedy done? Like, why am I listening to this asshole? Like last week, he was whining about Ed Markey's alleged fans being mean to him on Twitter. Like we had a conversation about this last week. I can't vote for somebody like that. I don't want to be led by someone like that. At least with Ed Markey, you know what you're getting. Nothing. You're getting the most forgettable guy in the world. He's old. He'll be 80 by the time he finishes this shit. And then somebody else will come along that'll be awful. But with Kennedy, if he wins, you're stuck with this guy for like 40 years. 40 years listening to that ginger. Are you ready for that? 40 years of Joe Kennedy? I'm not. No, thank you. So I took the Democratic ballot. I voted for, and yeah, I did see he spelled Worcester wrong. Not that that matters that much. Everybody spells Worcester wrong. Like in an ad, I don't know if it went in the Turtlegram or where it was in. He spelled it Worcester, but he's not the first person to do that. Donna Calorio did that last year when she was running for city council in Worcester, like Worcester City Councilor. Her team spelled it wrong too. So it's been done before. I don't understand what is so hard about spelling Worcester. I guess growing up here, you're just used to the way it's spelled, but I don't know if you were to ask your average person off the street, like, how do you spell Worcester? How would they spell it? Wooster? Is that how they would do it? I guess they probably wouldn't add the R in the C. Like would be Worcester, it would look like, right? Not Worcester. Where'd the H come from? We have a lot of places like that in Massachusetts. You got Leicester. Peabody's another one. Like, why do they say Peabody? Isn't it Peabody? There's a lot of places like that in Massachusetts. But I guess Worcester's kind of the most famous one. So I didn't take the Republican ballot, somebody's asking, because first of all, it was a race on the Democratic ballot that was more intriguing. So where I live in Worcester County, the state rep is a Republican. She's running unopposed. She wins every time. She's great. Her name is Kim Ferguson. We're lucky to have her. The Senate race, Shiva versus Kevin O'Connor. I'll get to that in a moment. But the real appeal was the governor's council race. And I've talked about the governor's council before. The governor's council, I can't believe I didn't blog about this. The governor's council is like the most important election that nobody knows about every year. Everybody's in the state's always complaining about judges, and rightfully so, because judges in the state suck. They let violent offenders go out into the community. They catch and release all the time. People like let them walk Walker. Well, how do they get there? These judges. Well, they get nominated. They get nominated by the governor, and then the governor's council has to review them. And there's only 8 people on the governor's council. That's it. In the entire state, 8. And they get to pick who the judges are. And judges are there for life. I mean, think that we have 160 state representatives in this state. You got 8 people on the governor's council. Who do you think has more power? The people that are in the state house writing stupid laws that, let's be honest, I mean, they haven't written a bill that significantly affects. I mean, there's the police reform bill, obviously. But when's the last time you heard about a significant bill that the state house, the House of Representatives passed? Like, who knows? But you hear about judges making awful decisions all the time. And like 90% of the time, they're a Deval Patrick appointed judge. Well, they didn't just get through the governor. The governor's council has to see them through. And there's 8 spots on the governor's council. 7 of them are Democrats. The one spot that was Republican was my district. But she left. Jen Casey, she had some shady shit going on too. She left. So now you got a wide open spot, and it's going to go to a Democrat. And there's Democrats that you can deal with, and then there are the AOC people. And that's what we had here in central Massachusetts. You got a guy named, I don't even know how to pronounce, some Irish name. Padraig Rafferty. I see his signs all over the place. He's like a meathead looking guy. I've heard him speak. Doesn't seem to be much there, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Because the other guy, Paul DiPaolo, is a communist. He's a 100% rabid communist. He'll appoint judges that completely agree with his ideology, and then they're there forever. You don't want that. So that's why I took the Democratic ballot, because that was actually, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about this one. That's an important one. So I took that one. Now, I didn't take the Republican one. And if I did, I would have voted for Shiva. But I had confidence Shiva was going to win anyway. Now, this is the most interesting race because Shiva, we've had Shiva on here before. You guys have seen Shiva before, right? I mean, Shiva's, should we look at some Shiva highlights? This guy is interesting. Shiva's the guy that ran against, he's advertised on Turtle Boy before. He ran against Elizabeth Warren last time. His campaign slogan was "Only a real Indian can beat a fake Indian." And he spoke at the free speech, the white nationalist rally, whatever, in Boston. That never happened about 3 years ago. And all those people came out and there's like a brown guy in a gazebo talking. That's Shiva. He claims he invented email. He won. There was a lawsuit. He actually sued on paper. He invented email. He was married to the nanny, Fran Drescher. He's really one of the most interesting guys. But I love Shiva, and he does a lot. He's fucking crazy. He's crazy. And I like it. And I'm saying that as a sign of affection, right? Because he's crazy. Let me show you. The most famous Shiva clip was from 2017 when he was trying to run for Senate as a Republican, and Howie Carr had him on and absolutely sabotaged this guy. You got to see this. You got to see this. Oh, I'll pull it up. Hold on. Okay, check this out.
If you manage a team, you have to try Monday.com. Monday.com is a platform to track.
In the studio now for everybody who's watching us on Newsmax.
So we had on, let's see. Here's Shiva.
You said a lot of really nasty things about me, and you called me a never Trumper. You said I was having sex with a campaign aide, a female campaign aide. You some calling me a piece of excrement.
Piece of shit.
And I was just wondering why did you say? And again, you called me a never Trumper, which I think that was.
Yeah, he was married to Fran Dresser. I swear to God.
What did you mean by that? A fake Trumper?
First of all, Howie, this is not about you or me. Okay, the reason I'm happy to be on your show, it took a long set of skirmish to get here, so we're not going to talk about you or me. The important thing is we're going to talk about Elizabeth Warren and who can defeat her, and that's what we're here to talk about because it's not about you or me. The people listening on the show who've been screwed over by establishment Democrats and establishment Republicans care about one thing.
But how does saying these terrible things about me help?
I never said it. Well, I'm not going to go there.
So anyway, I'll show you the sabotage part. Check this out.
Skeletons in my closet because
do a lot of research on you. I want to know.
Oh crap! I just realized I got to turn the volume off, don't I? I got to switch the. Thank you, Suzanne, for texting me there. Hold on. I always forget. I got to switch the input button. Mike MacBook. Where is it? Okay. All right, let's try this one. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so let's.
Do you have any skeletons
You know what?
in your closet?
I have no skeletons in my closet because I'm such a controversial guy.
No
Everything's
skeletons.
out there. Let's talk about
Everything's in
everything.
the
But
Watch it how he
it's not
drops
about
it.
you or me,
Have you
Howie.
ever been arrested?
Howie,
Have
this
you
is
ever been
not about
arrested?
you or me.
Shiva, have you ever been arrested?
Howie, it's not about you or me.
Yes or
Okay?
no? Have
It's
you
not
been
about you or
arrested?
me. What this is about is
you
do you
been
want to beat
arrested?
Elizabeth Warren?
Okay, I'm going to show you a picture.
This
on
is
the
not
screen-
about.
on
No,
the
this is
screen
not about
behind
you or me.
us.
This is about Elizabeth Warren.
I'm going to show you a picture on the screen. I want to know if you've been.
No, this has nothing to do with you or me. This has to
I
do with
wanna
Elizabeth
know if
Warren.
you've been arrested.
This is not about you or me.
Okay, so you're not going to answer that
No, I'm going to
question.
talk about because you're making stuff up about excrement and all. And that's not true. Let's talk about Elizabeth Warren.
Now he's going to read the
Let's
arrest
talk about
report.
your arrest.
Let's talk about Elizabeth Warren.
Have you ever been?
Let's talk about Elizabeth
Have you ever
Warren.
had a 209A restraining order?
Let's talk about Elizabeth Warren.
So you're not going to answer my
No, I'm
questions
going to talk about
here?
Elizabeth Warren. You don't want to talk about Elizabeth Warren. You want to get your ratings, but do you want to defeat Elizabeth Warren?
So you're not.
Do
going
you
to
want
say
to
that.
defeat Elizabeth
Do
Warren?
we have?
Do you
the
want to
picture?
defeat Elizabeth Warren?
Who is this? I'm going to show
Do
you.
you want
a
to defeat
picture.
Elizabeth Warren?
I mean,
You-
just let's,
you-
but that's what I mean with Shiva. It's like very intense, constantly, blah, blah, blah. He had no idea this was coming. How he dug up an arrest report he had for a domestic incident. Now, I've talked to Shiva about this. The case was dismissed. I don't know all the details to it. I mean, we know with Bristol Blarney that things are not always as they appear when the police are called to something like this. So, as far as I know, he was never convicted of anything. He was never tried of anything. He was arrested for this. And
You don't.
The viewers
You don't
can
want to
see- the
defeat
viewers
Elizabeth
can see the
Warren.
picture.
You don't want to defeat
Just-
Elizabeth Warren.
well, you gotta,
What
like,
you want to do
before this,
is to-
Shiva was riding
a
high.
guy who do not want to
and then
defeat
this is one of the
Elizabeth Warren
most epic
You do
meltdowns
not
of all
want to
time.
defeat Elizabeth Warren, do you?
You do not want to
No, you
admit
don't.
that you were arrested.
You know, Howie, do you
That's
want to
you.
defeat Elizabeth Warren?
You want me to show you this
You-
picture?
and you wanted me to buy advertising.
You walk by the mailroom
But
manager.
Howie, that's pay to play.
Isn't
this party- what about your
That's a
record?
lie.
You were there at the
That
meeting.
is an absolute
There's a
lie.
picture of you. There's a hanging third hand.
That's another lie.
I'm not going to play the whole
How
thing.
many jobs have you created?
How many
jobs have you created? How many times have you?
This was the beginning and the end of the Shiva campaign in 2018. Didn't work out the way he wanted to. But he ran as an independent that year. And I mean, Pocahontas was going to win either way, so it didn't really matter. But he made things interesting. That's what I liked about him. He just made things interesting. Whatever. I mean, if he was actually did that, I would never support him. Right. But I can only go on like he wasn't convicted. Right. He wasn't fucking even charged with it. It is what it is. I don't know. Anyway, this was an interesting one. Now, this is the guy he's running against. So Shiva's got, by the way, like 250,000 followers on Twitter. He's extremely popular on social media. Donald Trump Jr. has retweeted him. And so in that regards, he was, the bigger name. The guy he's running against is named Kevin O'Connor. No one's ever heard of this dude before. I don't know anything about him, but he's got probably the most Massachusetts sounding name ever, Kevin O'Connor. I mean, that is the most basic Massachusetts name you can possibly have, Kevin O'Connor. And, he's your standard run-of-the-mill conservative. And I never heard him talk before. And I thought Kevin O'Connor is backed by the establishment. Like every single, like Fat Man, every single state representative and state, senator in this state voted, endorsed Kevin O'Connor. I mean, you see, because you watch Shiva and it's like, Shiva's fucking crazy. He's crazy. I love it, but he's crazy. Now, Kevin O'Connor, he looks, I mean, when you look at him, you're like, okay, this guy looks very average, right? Like this guy looks very, O'Connor, candidate. But then you got to see this commercial. This is quite possibly, and I mean this, the worst commercial I've ever seen in my life. If you are trying to win, I don't know who the fuck came up with this commercial or who thought this was effective, but just watch this. It's cringe. It's cringe. That's the best I could say about this.
I'm Kevin O'Connor, candidate for United States Senate. America needs strong borders. Both national security and economic security depend on making good decisions about who is entering our great nation.
Is this the right one?
For too long, the folks in Washington have failed to make strong
That's the wrong one. Hold on.
laws. I'll make the tough choices. I'll put America.
Hold on. That's Kevin O'Connor on immigration. I apologize. There's another Kevin O'Connor one where I'm like, hold on. Where it's like, you hear the way he talks, right? It just sounds like a fucking general. Hold on, I'll find it. Give me one moment. I should have the right video queued up. Okay, let's find it. Kevin O'Connor on immigration. I'll be your fighter. Is this the one? Let me try this one.
I'm Kevin
This is the
O'Connor,
one.
and I'm running for United States Senate. I'm tired of the BS coming our way from Washington. We need to stop the democratic socialist agenda. When I'm your senator, I'll make sure that happens. I'll fight for a government by the people and for the people. I'll fight to defend, not defund the police. I'll fight for lower taxes. I'll fight for a strong economy. And I'll fight for a strong America. I'll be your fighter in Washington.
To me, this commercial is just like, why is he yelling at me? Like, why? Like, his voice, everything about this guy, it's like, enough with the BS. Like, this guy seems like he just wants, it's like, dude, have another sausage or something. Like, relax a little bit. Like, who would, like, if you're an average suburban house mom from Natick, like, this is Massachusetts, okay? Like, the Hardo thing is not going to work here. Like, this is not Oklahoma. It's not going to work. Here you have, like, in order to be a Republican in this state and get elected, you have to be charming. There's a certain amount of charm you have to have. Scott Brown had charm. That's why he won. That's why he actually gave Elizabeth Warren a run for money. Like, what again?
I'm Kevin O'Connor, and I'm running for United States Senate.
Why is he yelling?
I'm tired of the BS coming our way from Washington. We need to stop the democratic socialist agenda. When I'm your senator, I'll make sure that happens.
Yeah.
I'll fight for a government by the people.
Yeah, fist like there's too many dudes in this commercial too, by the way. Everybody in this commercial is like a white dude, like a middle-aged, grizzled looking white dude. They all have the jeans on with the belt and a shirt tucked in.
And for the people. I'll fight to defend, not defund the police. I'll fight for lower taxes.
So there's a chick.
I'll fight for a strong
Big fish.
economy, and I'll fight for
Yelling
a
it
strong.
and then like you got to see this in this clip right here. Nobody's looking at him. They're all looking over there at something else. Like, what the hell?
America.
And then this guy's, like everybody's just a dude.
I'll be your fighter.
Fight. I mean, who's that appealing to? I don't know. I guess, I'd vote for him. If he wins, whoever wins the Republican nomination, I'm voting for. But I'm like, if you're running against Shiva, the only thing you have to do is be the non-crazy guy. That's it. Because Shiva's the crazy guy. And again, it's not a shot at him. I dig crazy. But this guy, it's like I watched this. I'm like, oh, that guy doesn't seem very fun. It doesn't seem fun to hang out with. Maybe that's just me. That's just me. I'm tough. I'm your fighter. Defend the police. Okay. Hardo. Anyway, that's that. Our election results coming in. Somebody just texted me and said that Ed Markey has won. Is that correct? I had a feeling Ed Markey was going to win, which is a big reason why I didn't want to see it. People are saying I've seen enough. Ed Markey has defeated him. Ed Markey just won. People are saying now because I'm looking at it. He won Northampton. I'll pull it up over here. I'll show you guys the results coming in. He won Northampton like 4-1. Ed Markey did. Ed Markey is weird. Usually how it works is a Democratic incumbent like Michael Capuano or the guy that AOC got rid of, right? It's like always an old white guy who's been there for like 25 years. And then some young upstart from the squad comes along and they're woke and they challenge them and they have a lot of enthusiasm. And then they beat them in a primary by being even more radical, right? That's what AOC did. That's what a lot of people have done. That's what Ayanna Pressley did. Joe Kennedy's different. Joe Kennedy it's the opposite. It's the old guy, Ed Markey, who's been there for a million years. He's the woke one. Now, AOC backs him. And Joe Kennedy is the young guy with the red hair. And he comes along and he's like the establishment guy. The roles are reversed here. But, the fact that he feels entitled to that seat because he's a Kennedy just pisses me off to no end. So everybody is saying, okay, so 13% of precincts in, and Ed Markey has an 11. So Ed Markey is killing him in places like Northampton, Cambridge, stuff like that, because that is like he's going to win the really, really, really woke places. Let me show you guys an interesting map here. I don't know if you guys find this shit boring or not. I love election crap. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I'm an election junkie. Let's see if this works here. I found this map fascinating of Massachusetts. And so this is a map of our state. And it's the election with Trump in 2016. And I mean, there's a lot of red there. You would think looking at this map that, there's a decent amount of, what does this look like? 40% red, this state probably. But he got murdered because the big areas obviously voted for Hillary Clinton. And I'm like looking at these, I'm kind of curious, because they're all in pockets. Like, look at all these South Shore towns. I had no idea Trump was this popular in the South Shore. Here's Middleborough. How do you do there? He got 52% to 38 over Hillary there in Middleborough. I mean, pick a town, right? Bridgewater, he won 47 to 43. Raynham, he wins. He wins, you name it. But then that's what, like, Trump wins by a little. Like, here is, what's this one? Rutland. He wins 47 to 40. Monroe, is this Monroe? Yeah, Monroe, he won 26 to 25. Monroe is the third smallest town in Massachusetts. Yeah. So, but then you look at places like if you go to Cambridge here, is this Cambridge? No, it's Everett. Somerville. Oh, yeah. Look at Somerville. Trump got 10% in Somerville, 82 to 10. 82 to 10. Cambridge, 87 to 6. So and this is where all the people live. Boston, 79 to 13 in Boston. Worcester, 64-26, not as bad. Springfield, 73-20. Like murder. That's why when I laugh when people are like, we're gonna flip Massachusetts. No, you're not. You fucking be realistic. Stop it. Stop. Welcome to grown up world. You can win a lot of other states. You ain't gonna win this state, baby. It's over. So I don't know if people are in the comments are following the election results. I'm really kind of. Anybody know who won the Shiva race? Can anybody fill me in on that? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Shiva's winning, and I'd like to. I don't know how they're gonna do the Rayla thing too. I fucked up on the blog last night and I forgot to put that I didn't know this. You need to put her address. So I should have given that out, but I feel like I did it in time. And I thought she only needed 150 write-ins to get on the ballot. No. She needed 2,000. It's a little bit more. And Kevin O'Connor's winning, huh? Kevin O'Connor's killing him. Shiva took a beating. Wow. Okay, so we're going to have Grumpy Guy. That's okay. I'll still vote for him. But it's less exciting. It's less exciting because the fact of the matter is that Ed Markey's going to win. Like, let's welcome to grown-up world. Some Turtle Riders got mad at me last election. They were all pissy at me. They're like, I think Geoff Diehl's going to win. I think Geoff Diehl's going to beat Elizabeth Warren. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not going to beat Elizabeth Warren. She's winning by 30 points in the polls. No. Polls lie. Yeah. They lied by 1 or 2. They're off by 2 or 3 points, maybe. Not 30. Elizabeth Warren is not losing Massachusetts. Okay? Like, let's come down to earth. Or you support her. No, I'm just a grown-up living in reality, and I understand that this is her state. This is a state full of nut jobs. A state where 6% of people in Cambridge, the 5th largest city in the state, votes for Trump. Like, you can't fucking win. You're going to lose that. And people say, everybody I know votes for Trump. See Trump signs everywhere. See Geoff Diehl. Everybody I know is voting for Geoff Diehl. Oh, anecdotes. Wow. Well, if everybody in your inner circle is voting for Geoff Diehl, then he must win, right? Because you talk to 20 people in your MAGA group and you're all voting for Geoff Diehl. Well, I'm here to give you a reality check. Your MAGA group is not your Diana Plus group, whatever. It's not representative of who the state is. The state is Cambridge and Somerville. They have a disproportionate like influence on like when a city's that big are voting 90-6 for the Democrat. You can't win. It's impossible. It's a miracle that fucking Charlie Baker wins in the state. And he has an R next to his name. That's a miracle. But even he lost goddamn Cambridge. So I don't know. The Rayla thing, I hope to God she gets on because I've never liked a politician as much as I've liked Rayla Campbell. She won me over big time, man. I wasn't sure about her at first, to be perfectly honest with you, because I'm always skeptical of Republicans from around here to be, some of them can be a little bit much. But she's very charming, isn't she? She's very charming. That's what I mean by like charming. Like Kevin O'Connor, watch that. That's not charming. That's rough. It's like grizzled. You want friendly, right? And Rayla Campbell, it would be a fucking Christmas miracle if she not only got on the ballot, but then defeated Ayanna Pressley. I mean, that is the most liberal city. Like that. They have Somerville, they have Cambridge, they have Boston, like all those places I just read off. That's Rayla's district, right? That's what she's up against. It's no other district in the state even comes close to that. Nothing. So if Rayla wins, if she gets on, it would be the biggest upset of all time. And I would obviously vote for her if that's the case, but she deserves to live in a better place. I'm going to be honest with you. Same with Tracy Lavorne, who is also quite charming. And I had her on the show. Remember that a couple months ago? I had her and John Paul Moran on. So Tracy is Worcester County. It's like, all the way to Northampton. Okay. This is like Tracy's area. And as you can see, it's got some redder areas in there. But this whole shit down here, they cut all this. They put this over here. Okay. So this is like the boundary. So that's gerrymandering. They took all these red towns and they threw them into this district where they get, Springfield's there. So they get canceled out by that. And they threw in Northampton and Amherst, which are extremely liberal. Like Amherst was 82-8. 82-8. Northampton was 79-11. They threw those in with Worcester. So this is where Tracy Lavorne's running. Long shot, but better than Rayla, right? So my point here is that like people like this, like Rayla Campbell could be a congressman, a good congressman, if she lived in a place that gave her like a fair chance. Like she's running against Diana Presley in the most democratic district in the country. What are you going to do? What do you, I mean, good for her. I'm happy somebody's giving her a run for money, but what are you supposed to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. Anyway, I cannot believe that Shiva got his ass beat by like that. I cannot believe that. He's not going to like that. He's not going to like that at all. It's over. Everybody's saying over, huh? Let me pull up the results again. And then we'll go on to the next topic. Everyone wants to talk about what's happening in Taunton. Should I Google? What should I search for here? Kevin O'Connor. Kevin O'Connor is tweaking with that Russ take. Okay. I forgot there's an NBA reporter called that. He's winning Kevin O'Connor 59 to 40% in Worcester GOP. Yeah. Okay. So whatever. He's winning by 20 points. Woo! Look at that. A beating. Poor Shiva. Anyway, let's go on to the next topic, shall we? Enough election talk. Okie dokie. Let me fix my mic. And before we go on to that, let me refresh that dono in case I missed anyone. Give people shout outs. Okay, got a couple donos here. This episode is brought to you by our good friend Jennifer Jones, who leaves the comment, keeping it real. Thank you, Jennifer Jones. You kept it real tonight. I appreciate that very much. If anyone else would like to sponsor the program, there it is. So people who, speaking of somebody that doesn't like to collect donations, except when she is collecting donations, Bristol Blarney, I mentioned this last week, how she's claiming that I am being charged with a felony for wiretapping by the Taunton Police Department. Now, this comes from an incident about, 2 or 3 weeks ago, in which I was invited onto a live stream on StreamYard. And how this works, of course, is that, so I'm on StreamYard right now, and I can see nobody else is on with me, so nobody is backstage. But I could give you guys the link if I want to and invite you on, and you would hear me live like before the delay. When the show ends, you would not know it's over unless I told you it's over, because you'd be watching differently. You wouldn't be watching on YouTube. You'd be watching on StreamYard. So you can watch it one of two ways. You can watch it on StreamYard or you can watch it on YouTube. Right now, obviously, you people can't watch on StreamYard because you don't have the link. So Ashley Azevedo decides that she's going to do a debate with a turtle rider who went by Turtle Kate when she was on there. And they were debating about me mostly, and Kate and all that came along with it. And obviously Ashley's a moron, didn't know what she's talking about and got owned, except in her mind, she won. That's why it's kind of like a waste of time. Nobody gains anything from that. But I was sitting there, I had it on, right? When I first got the link, I was sent the link by Turtle Kate, and I went on there, and I'm backstage. I'm in the backstage area, and I'll show you guys what it looks like backstage. Let me pull this up. See if I can pull this up. Where'd it go? Okay. Can you guys see that? All right, let me make that bigger. All right, so I did one today from my house with Turtle Kate. Okay. And this is what it looks like. You might have seen like a testing one today. That was this. So I'm sitting there and she's in the background. She can see and hear me. And this is what I see. As you can see, I see her, right? She's clearly on there. I see her. So I am where Ashley Acevedo would have been. Ashley Acevedo brings me in and she's like, what are you doing here? And it's very awkward because her and I don't get along. And I'm like, oh, Turtle Kate gave me the link. So I'm just going to watch. And she goes, okay, I'll put you backstage. And at that point, there's a button there. You can press like, send them backstage. Now, I'll show you what happens when you're backstage. Okay. Allow me to show you this. All right. Let's pull it up. Okay. So this is what it says when you are backstage on a StreamYard. It says only the host can see you. Only the host can see you. The host may add you on the broadcast at any time. Be ready. So this is what I saw. And this is what everybody sees. And the most important line there, only the host can see you. Who is the host? Ashley Acevedo. She saw me. It says it right there in her own words. They can see you. They know that you're there. That's why she brought me on. She acknowledged that I was there. She clearly knew I was there. So, show you another picture here that's relevant to this whole thing. Now, this is what it looks like when they bring you on, when you bring someone on. Okay. It says, you're on the show. Everything you say and hear, people can hear you. So you're on there. So that's what happens when they bring you on. And finally, I'll show you what I saw that night from my end. So this is what I saw that night. And there is Ashley drinking whatever. And Kate with their weird freaking college dorm room tapestry hanging from the ceiling. And it says clearly, as you can read right here, you're backstage. Only the host can see you. So how this happened. So I watched this whole stream, and after it's over, I don't know that it's over because it's never really over for you if the StreamYard is still going because I'm not watching it on YouTube. See what I'm saying? So if it ended, if the stream on YouTube ended, I would have no way of knowing this because I'm watching it on StreamYard. It is still streaming to me, and I am still consuming this media and watching it. So, Ashley, as we've been over, can see me because it says right there, only the host can see you. Now, I was not the only one backstage either. I cannot see who else is backstage, but guess who can? Ashley can. Ashley can see everybody who's backstage because she's the admin. If I had 5 people backstage right now, I would see all 5 of you, but you would not see each other. So when the stream ends, I would have no way of knowing that it's over. All I know is it kept going. So Turtle Kate jumps out, and then 2 seconds later, Kate Peter jumps in. I'm like, oh, this is different. They're switching up. There's a new guest on her Ashley Acevedo's show. I'm going to watch this one. Ashley knows I'm here. She knows I'm watching. It's a live streamed show. This is not a private conversation. They are streaming it to me and several other people who had the link. At no point did Ashley Acevedo ever tell anybody, you can't distribute that link. This is private. If it was private, they wouldn't be doing it on YouTube and StreamYard. That defeats the purpose of being private. So, they start talking, and Kate Peter says something awful about Turtle Kate. Turtle Kate's father committed suicide when she was 5 years old. She was in the room when it happened, and it was a traumatic event, and Kate Peter decides to mock her for that. And she said, you're going to complain about I'm a bad parent. At least I'm still here. At least you want to talk about bad parent? Your dad killed himself. He's an awful parent. At least my kids can see me. if they want to. I mean, just one of the ugliest things I've ever heard in my entire life. So this was recorded because it's no different than if you were watching, like if you guys are watching me right now, I'm live streaming this to you. If you like record this, if you're screen recording this on your phone, which I'm sure some people are, that's not a crime because it's a live stream. You're well within your rights to record things that are streamed to you on the internet. This is not a private conversation. If they wanted to have a private conversation, all they had to do was pick up the phone and call each other. That's it. Instead, you chose to have a conversation on a website called StreamYard. Keyword, stream. You're streaming to people. It's not private. Like, that's what a fucking stream is. So anybody could have recorded this. Of course, it's not illegal to record it, obviously. But then she goes and gets legal advice from the most asinine, the most insane, quote unquote, attorney in the country, Michael Gaffney. Like the absolute, like a guy who sued me after dropping out of an election because he lost the election and I didn't endorse him. So he's saying I cost him that seat. He sued me for this. He spent a year of his life flying back. He lived in Texas at the time, flying from Texas to Uxbridge over and over again for court appearances in which he brought his mistress and his wife together. I mean, this is who Kate is getting her legal advice from now. This has Gaffney's name written all over it. He is a completely mentally unstable individual, and he's leading the charge. So, of course, Gaffney's like, that's wiretapping. I've seen him. He's truth teller in the comments. Everybody knows that. And they decide that they're going to go to the Taunton police, Ashley and Kate, and they're going to say that I wiretapped them, which is just so asinine. Because I guess during a live show, I said something to the effect of they didn't even know I was watching, which may be true, maybe isn't. I don't know. I don't know what she knew. All I know is that if she did not know I was watching, that is her own fault. That's not my fault. It says right there. It said I showed you what it says. Yeah, it clearly tells you like who's back there. So she knew. Either one of two things happened here. Either Ashley is just a fucking moron, which is well within the realm of possibility, and she just had a brain fart and forgot I was there, even though she had me on the stream before. And she was reading some comments also that I made, by the way. StreamYard has like a private chat for people that are on it. And I was commenting on the private chat. Ashley was reading my comments. I have her on tape reading the comments. She knew I was there. There's like a million pieces of evidence that shows you that she knew I was there. So obviously Ashley's not smart enough to come up with this scheme. So she's either one, dumb, or two, this was all a plot, which is also well within the realm of possibility because Kate Peter's involved, in which they could have just done this, said something completely outrageous, hoping that somebody would tape it, and then try to pin me on a wiretapping charge. Wiretapping. It's absurd. Completely absurd. Wiretapping. Because you taped a computer screen of a stream that lots of people were getting? Oi. Anyway, I called the Taunton police about it last week. And the guy, Officer Leonardo Almeida, is the officer that allegedly is charging me because Kate insisted he's being charged. She said it with such confidence. Being charged. He's going to be getting a summons in the mail this next week. Well, it's next week right now. I'm waiting. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I called him up and he's not there. So he told me, call me back today. So I called back today. And Turtle Kate also went down there today and spoke with him. And we set the record straight about what was happening here. Now, first thing he said to me was that they're actually investigating her too. The first thing he said to me is, you're not being charged. Right. As of right now, you're not being charged. So that is a complete lie. I'm not being charged. They're investigating it. And they're also investigating her because she showed the police report. She was not supposed to show that. And they want to know where she got that from. So now they're actually investigating her because that was a big mistake on her part, was showing that police report. According to Officer Almeida, she was not supposed to show that. Now, Officer Almeida, if you Google him, is kind of like a super cop, is the best way to describe him. He is, if you were to vote on the police officer in this country who is least likely to ever make the news for doing something like Derek Chauvin did, it would be him. Like, he is like, if you Google him, he's only in the news for the most positive, uplifting things in the community. He's like super cop. Like, really nice guy. Like, you wouldn't guess he's a cop. Not that cops aren't supposed to be nice, but when you talk to this guy, it's very clear. He's very sharp, and he's very young, and he's taking this very seriously, this wiretapping thing. He made it very clear there's a felony. And I said, that's concerning. I'd rather not be charged with a felony, because I did nothing wrong. And I walked him through this whole StreamYard thing, because this is a whole new world for him too. And in order for me to be charged, he explained how the process works. First, he must put forward a charge. And as you saw in that paper, that he indicated that was something that he wanted to do. However, he had not spoken to me yet. So I had a chance to convince him otherwise, and at least show my side of the story, if you will. After he does that, the next step is the sergeant has to sign off on it. And if the sergeant signs off on it, then it goes to the district attorney's office, and they have the choice of whether or not they want to press charges. So there are multiple steps here before any felony charge is charged. Like, multiple steps. They're not even close to that yet. And it's not up to the police to determine, whether or not I'm guilty or not. They just need probable cause. Okay. So it doesn't even have to be much to get a charge. So I'm not the least bit worried whatsoever about being convicted of a felony. I already have a couple attorneys who have offered to help, who are looking for like First Amendment work is the brave new frontier for attorneys in this country, especially dealing with internet issues. That's going to be big business going forward. The Covington kid getting paid by CNN and Washington Post was the beginning of that. They're like, oh snap, there is money to be made doing First Amendment issues on the internet. So I'm not even remotely worried about that, because I've done obviously nothing wrong. Obviously didn't break a law or anything like that. It's fucking StreamYard, stupid. Never mind the fact that the terms of service for StreamYard that Ashley agreed to by using it also clearly state that everything is recorded. Everything. As long as you're on there and you're having a conversation, it is not private. None of it's private. So I have a hard time believing that the Taunton police, I couldn't believe how much time they're putting into this. I'm like, Taunton's a city. Like, there's some problems in Taunton. It's not a small town. You don't have anything to do. He goes, oh yeah, we have a lot of people working on this right now. A lot of people. He goes, everybody at the district attorney's office is talking about this case. Maybe that's because I wrote about it and gave it some press or whatever. But apparently it's the big buzz of the town in Bristol County is Turtleboy versus Bristol Blarney. Round whatever. And I told him, I'm like, look, she's also facing criminal charges in Leominster District Court for hacking into my account and writing a threatening, she filed several false police reports against me. She also filed one with you, by the way, Taunton, because they said in there that they didn't know I was there. That's a lie. That's clearly a lie. She lied. Ashley lied when she filed the police report. That is a crime. And if they're going to pursue me for this, I'll pursue them for that. I'll go down to the Holden Police Department. I'll file a police report against her. If that's the way you want to do this. I cannot believe that the taxpayers of Taunton are paying for this. This is what you're paying for if you live in Taunton. You have multiple police officers in your town right now investigating whether or not Ashley Azevedo was aware that people were watching her and Kate Peter talk on a website called StreamYard. So this is real life. This is actually happening in real life. I don't even know what to say. That this is what the police are doing with their time. I guess they don't have much else going on. I don't know. But it is a very interesting. The population of Taunton's probably like 55,000, I would guess. 55, 60,000. I think it's one of the 20 biggest cities in Massachusetts. You know, it's a city. It's a small city. But it's like probably the size of Chicopee or Peabody, comparable places. Plymouth, stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm going to read some comments here. Charles says, her releasing the report is interfering with an investigation. Whoever reprinted that report has some explaining to do. I think that's what they're investigating. You're not kidding. You're not kidding. She definitely was not supposed to put that on the stream, but she just can't help herself. She was so convinced that she had me. He's being charged, and she just wanted to give some red meat to her idiot followers. They'd all believe it. These are not intelligent people. And by the way, she's also raised, a lot of money. She raised what, $1,800 with her legal defense fund to sue Turtleboy or whatever. She's not going to sue Turtleboy. I mean, I wish she would. I wish she would try. We're going to countersue. We've already got a lawyer. We can't wait for that, Kate. I dare you to sue me. I fucking dare you. Because by the way, I'm not playing anymore. I got a new strategy with this. The Marc Aldana thing. Remember, we talked about this last week, and Marc Aldana was messaging me, asking to, can we drop this? I thought about that long and hard over the weekend, and I'm like, and I talked to my attorney, and he's like, you don't want to drop. We don't want to drop this. We're going to get him to pay your legal fees. Me, basically. And we're going to win because we've already won on the slap aspect of this. And when you win a slap aspect of a lawsuit, they're required to pay you. And he goes, don't you want to send a message to these people? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. I'm like, I want it like a trophy. I want a skull. I want Marc Aldana. I want to take his skull, figuratively speaking, and I want to share it with the world. Okay. I want to show them, this is what happens. If you think if you think you're going to sue Turtleboy and just get away with it, not happening anymore. I'll fight back. I'm not just going to be on the defensive anymore. I'm going on the offensive. Okay. And we could start sending a message to these people and let them know that it's just not going to be tolerated anymore. I want to show you, by the way, let me pull this up. I forget where I was at in this, but I'm going off on a tangent here, but I want to talk about the thing. Let me see. Where did it go? Where is it? Which one? Well, let me switch what's on there. Hold on. You guys see that? Okay. All right. So you see Carly Johnson. This is Marc Aldana's baby mama. And she ended up in the blog. Now, I had messaged her asking her to talk on the phone, and she wouldn't talk to me. Marc Aldana he's like a hitman or something. I don't know. He was involved in a home invasion to collect a debt owed from a pot dealer. And he ended up getting shot, and he shot the homeowner, and he was on $500,000 bail, and he still has not been tried yet because he's also the most infamous snitch in Massachusetts. And Mark Aldana is suing me for a blog that Feisty wrote about him over 3 years ago. So Carly Johnson, the girlfriend, the baby mama in this, because I'm told by people that she drove the getaway car that day, that she's involved in his crime. This is what's, and I wanted to interview her about that. She doesn't want to talk about it, whatever. So, okay, you got no comment? We're going to talk about this in the story then. So I throw it up in the blog, and I throw pictures of obviously her and the family in there because I'm very concerned about those children. I'm very concerned about them. And as you can see the end of this, she ends up by saying, I'm getting a restraining order right now. And I said, I've asked you twice now to stop. Please stop messaging me. And then the blog gets published. And I did not see this till yesterday. The blog gets published. And she writes to me, you didn't get what you wanted, huh? You're a little bitch. I'll see your pathetic ass in court. By the end of this, you and your family will be living out of a car. Good fucking luck. So that was not a smart thing to say because it also shows that like the purpose of this lawsuit is to hurt me financially, not because you were damaged or anything like that. It's just out of spite. Wicked smart thing. Really smart thing to do. Then she says, I want you to know that Marc was not even going to continue with anything. He was going to let it go. But now you did this. I hope you loose everything, every damn thing you have in your life. This was at 8:15. 8:15, she writes this. At 9:15 is when Mark Aldana has emailed me and asked to drop it. Shit, you not. So didn't work out too well. So I'm not. Bottom line is I ain't dropping it. I'm not dropping it. We're suing. We're countersuing for damages, baby. I'm popping my cherry. We're gonna get money out of this guy. He lives 205 Salisbury Street in Holden. Okay, because that's publicly rest. I'm not doing this to dox him. It's publicly whatever. And it's like a nice lakefront house, I assume, with his parents. And he claims to be indignant or indigent, whatever you pronounce it. He says that we're not going to get the fees. Like when we mentioned like getting legal fees from them, his face turned red. That can happen. This was just fun. I just didn't like the blog about me, so I sued you. Oh yeah, we can get legal fees, dude. Especially if we get a slap lawsuit judgment in our favor, which we did. So now we're going to get them legal fees for you. Well, I'm indigent. Well, that's no problem. That's no problem. You live with your mom. We'll take her house. That's fine. We'll take her property. We can get it from her. Because how this works, by the way, is not how much money you make. It's household income. So if you live with your mom's income counts. That's fine. Your mom can write me a check. Doesn't matter who writes us a check. I'll take it either way. And I'm going to get that money. Just trust me that, Mark Aldana. That was you fucked up, dude. You fucked up. All you had to do, I didn't even know who the fuck you were. I had to Google you. Feisty wrote a blog about you 3 years ago that nobody read. Nobody fucking gave a fuck about you. And then you had to go and poke the turtle. When will they learn, folks? When will they learn? I don't know. But Bristol Blarney apparently will never learn. So if Kate wants to sue me, we're going to just understand that we're going to countersue you, Kate, because I have what's called actual damages. You have imaginary damages. Your feelings are hurt. You're sad that the world now knows what a shitty mother you are, how you lost 2 kids to the state, how your children were so emotionally damaged, right, that they had to be separated from each other. How they had to be put in a mental hospital because of you, because of the damage you did as a quote unquote mother. You're embarrassed of that. Those aren't damages, Kate. That's just the truth hurt your feelings. That's all that was. And now everybody knows what a fraud you are. And that will follow you around forever, as it should, because you're terrible. You're an awful, awful human being. So, I have actual damages, though. For starters, you took my store down without asking me. After you didn't work for me, you decided to take the store down. And I lost a bunch of orders and stuff because of that. So you did that. I still haven't gotten the $300 from GDP, right? For advertising. Still haven't gotten that. You took a bunch of followers, right? Not a bunch, but some who are pretty steady contributors, like Michelle Olsen, right? Karen St. Aubin or Valdez or whatever it is now. Ed Salazar, who, by the way, is the biggest fucking snake I've ever seen in my life. Ed, he goes by Ed Takazawa on Facebook. He used to send me messages all the time. He's from Lawrence, ratting out people in Lawrence, telling me blog about this guy, and sometimes I would. He was one of the Discord idiots that went with her and believed everything. And then when Kate went down after 2 weeks and she took her channel down, he immediately messaged me, apologized, like a bunch of them did, like Angelo Doc Holiday, Graziano did, like Stephanie, Armanda Spencer did. A lot of these people, they messaged me, kiss my ass. Now Kate's gone, they need some entertainment. Oh, I'm sorry, I realized I saw the light. But he kept doing it. And he kept being like, oh, I fucking done with her, man. She's fucking shady, that bitch. All her show fucking shady. And then I would see some things in there. And I heard a voice one time on the live show. And I'm like, dude, that sounds a lot like you. No, that's not me. Dude, I'm done. And he's like, dude, I don't like these accusations, he told me. Oh, yeah, no problem. Oh, sorry. And then I saw him last week sharing her fucking fundraiser on there. And I'm like, this fucking snake. His name is Edwin Salazar. He's the biggest bitch I've ever talked to in my life. He works at fucking Walgreens. He's a fucking gamer. He's a fucking loser. Happy he's gone. We don't need people like that around here. But people like that, before Kate came along and fucked with my business, they were pretty steady contributors. So I have actual provable damages that were caused by Kate Peters' malicious lies. These people left because Kate lied to them about Sam Carden. That was the big thing. She lied to them. We've been over all her lies. So that's literally the definition. And because I'd be considered a public figure, most likely, it would have to be with malice, which is very easily provable on her part as well. Like, she fucking hacked into my account to try to damage my reputation, right? Like, insane stuff, insane. While she was working for me, she created an account called Aidan Blarney to sabotage a fundraiser, which ended up not happening largely because of her. So who knows how much that cost? So, Kate, if you want to do this, we can do this. Okay. I'd recommend not doing it. I don't have time to sue you right now. I could. You're not worth it because you have no money, obviously. And unlike the other asshole, you don't live with your parents, so I can't get the money from them. I can't sue the Social Security office or where the fuck your paychecks come from. So, but if you want to, we can. That's all I'm saying. If you want to, we can. I think we both know who's going to win that, because I have an attorney who is arguably one of the best attorneys in the country at this particular type of law, and is itchy for it. First question they asked was, how much money does she have? That's what they're looking at. How to get money out of you. So, because you've damaged me, and their big concern is like, I'd do this on a contingency if there's a big payday at the end. So just understand, Kate, that if you do choose to do this, you're going to be outmatched. Okay. Your attorney is the biggest joke. You know that. We've laughed about Mike Gaffney together all the time. Like, we made fun of that guy. He's a fucking joke. He's not a real attorney. He lives in Florida. He's weird. He does videos of himself like bench pressing and curling and stuff like that. He has thruples and he's fucking weird. He's bad at his job. He has, not just from me, if you look at any of Mike Gaffney's ratings for his law firm, like, he's fucking awful. Absolutely awful. So that'll be your backup. That's the guy leading you. Whereas me, I'll have one of the best lawyers in the country with me. And unlike you, I have damages. You have no damages. I actually have damages. I haven't lied about you at all. And God knows what we'll find in discovery, Kate. You know you ain't going to find shit on me because I haven't done anything wrong. I'm pretty straight arrow. Your big thing about, he lies. He lied about South Shore Turtle Girl working for him. Guilty as charged. I pretended to be South Shore Turtle Girl for a little bit there to keep morale up. Guilty as charged. Oh no. Bombshell. Bombshell. You lied about a lot more, Kate. You lied about shit that actually matters. And you seem to be really hung up on like meaningless lies that nobody cares about. You lied to Foho. You lied about Foho. Who cares about Foho? What are you talking about? Foho. That's the best you got? But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. I wish she would, but I don't think she will. I don't think she's gonna. I think Gaffney, the things that Gaffney has written and stuff like that are automatically disqualifying. So he can't even represent her. And some people believe that he's doing that on purpose so that he can bow out without actually quitting on her. See what I'm saying? It's like they won't let the renegade Mike Gaffney. He's too renegade around. Like, you know what I mean? He's too much of a badass, too much of a loose cannon. Can't have him in a courtroom. So Mike Gaffney is that's who you've hitched your wagon to. Good luck. Good luck with that. I wish you would try, Kate. I wish you would try. But ultimately, I think she raised, even though she hates raising money for, lawsuits and stuff like that, the first thing she does is start a GoFundMe to raise money for her lawsuit, even though that's what she claims. All he cares about is money. He's always begging for money. She does the exact same fucking thing. Exact same fucking thing. But which, by the way, me quote unquote begging for money, that was her fucking idea. I've shown you the text messages. Right? So I wish you'd try. I really do. And that $1,800 that they've raised, what happens when there's no lawsuit, Kate? What happens then? Do you audit yourself? Where does the money go? Where's the money now? Where'd the money go, Kate? You gonna give it back to the people who donated? Because some of those people are anonymous, Kate. Is that guy Greg Santiago or the guy Murpha? I know his name too. From New York City. We can talk about them if you like. We can drag them into it. That's fine. If you want to keep dragging innocent people into this, Kate, that's your choice. All these people whining, and she'll always say, oh, he's dragging all these innocent people into it. Bitch, you did this. You could have just walked away. That's it. That's all you had to do is just shut the fuck up and walk away. You couldn't do that, though, because you're so obsessed with yourself. You don't care how many innocent people you have to drag down with you. We can bring Taco into this. I mean, why do you think Masshole Mitch, Justin, and Sound Guy, Mike Hilario, have all disappeared? Why do you think they disappeared, Kate? Because they didn't want to get dragged into it, and they knew I'd do it. They know I'll do it. I mean, I dragged Hilario into it. He fucking ran away crying. Masshole Mitch, I know, isn't on because he knows I found out his real name. He knows I know where he works, and he knows I'll drag him into this too if he's on your team. That's why you're by yourself now with a bunch of freaks. Well, you got Ed Lawrence. I mean, you got Ed Salazar. You got him. You got Taryn. You got Ashley. It's quite the crew you got there. So, anyway, yeah, Michael Agnetta. I feel bad for AZ. And you know what, Shannon? I kind of do too, because she's so fucking stupid. She has no idea what she did. The others do. Ashley's just too stupid. Like, she was so conflicted when it first happened. She was messaging me, telling me I was her hero, and she's like, "You're Turtleboy," like building me up and shit like that. She clearly wanted nothing to do with this, but then she just couldn't help herself. She can't shut the fuck up. That's her problem. She can't stop talking, and ultimately, she needs a friend so bad. She has no friends in real life, I think, and then Kate just provided her friendship, quote unquote. Kate's using her, of course, but anyway. Any other questions you guys have before we call it a night? What happened to Eddie? Oh, Eddie's a great guy. Eddie wanted nothing to do with this. So Eddie was like, when it first happened, I mean, Eddie was friends with her, and it was part of her show, and he's also friends with me. He's a really good guy. And at no point did I ever ask him to like pick a side or get involved. He immediately just said, I can't be involved in either one. I can't do this. I don't want to get dragged into this. I like you guys both. I don't want to get dragged into this. And I respected that. And she did not. She declared war on him for like not siding with her. So he has basically disappeared from the internet and wants nothing to do with. I'm still friends with him, like in real life, but you know, he doesn't want anything to do with the production of the shows or anything like that. All right, any other questions that you guys have? The golf tournament is coming up soon. We are going to we still have sponsorship. We still have spots left. I have to check. Last I checked, I think we had like 70 golfers. And once again, it's on Columbus Day, October 12th at Kettlebrook Country Club in Paxton. It is $125 to golf by yourself, $100 a person. So $400 if you get a foursome. And afterwards, we have a little reception with some giveaways and some food. You cannot come for the second part because a lot of people are like, can I come just for that and not golf? Oh yeah, I know how that works. I know how that works. No, you can't. You got to actually golf unless you are a volunteer, in which case you need to get in contact with either me or Leah, or just email them and we can figure that out. So it's gonna be a good time. Is that what it's called? A reception? I don't know what it's called, Leah. What it's afterwards? There's gonna be food. It's gonna be food. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a fucking great time. I can't wait to meet some turtle riders in real life. My foursome, I'm with Jenduso, Blarney Cated. That's what she goes by on air. And GI Turtle. That's my foursome. I haven't golfed in like 15 years, probably 10, 15 years. So I got to practice, etc. Let me refresh those donos real quick in case I missed anyone. Okay. We have 7 Pounder says, I just want to let you know that I am not ashamed to donate to a quote unquote basement beggar. Well, thank you very much. I kind of make it a point not to beg. I don't like begging. So I leave it up to you guys. If you want to donate, donate. If you don't, that's okay too. But I'm not begging. If you want to give. I accept. So thank you, 7 Pounder. Jess says, I appreciate all you do. And you know what, Jess? I appreciate all you do as well, especially when you come here and join the live streams. Okie dokie. Anything else? Any questions you guys have before we call it a night? Unc, if you go to court in Taunton and it's on Zoom, are you going to, I think by that point we'll be done with coronavirus, to be perfectly honest with you. Coronavirus is ending. I don't know if you guys noticed this. People are not giving a fuck anymore. Nancy Pelosi got caught getting a fucking haircut without a mask on. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I mean, it's like eventually Trump, and this is all Trump's doing. We can thank him for this. He sets the tone, man. That speech he gave the other night where no one was wearing masks, including him, there will be no outbreak from that. That's not going to happen. And then people will start to realize, oh shit, who cares? Who cares? Like the new CDC thing coming out that says that 6% of people who have quote unquote died from COVID died exclusively from COVID. That's at 6%. Everyone else had some sort of comorbidity, meaning they already were sick with something and COVID amplified it or pushed them over the edge or whatever. That doesn't count in my book. If you don't solely die from the disease, it doesn't count. So we're hiding from something that 94% of the people who die from it, they were already sick to begin with. Somebody asks, how's Rayla doing? Now, I assume we're not going to find out tonight because they have to be hand counted, right? And let me see if I'll search for Rayla Campbell on there. Yeah, because they're gonna have to be hand counted because they're write-ins. Yeah. So I don't know the answer to that. Don't know the answer to that. Other questions? Kennedy lost. Okay, that's great. Other questions, or were they all 98% of people who die with the Rona were around for the first Jurassic Park? I know. Check your Facebook messages. I'm logged into the wrong account, so I can't check it right now because I logged into that other account. Anybody else? Oh, the ones who died, how many were Republican? Well, if you're asking the media, probably 95% because they weren't wearing masks, right? If only they wore masks. I love when they say that. If we wear masks, we can save 70,000 people. They're just making this shit up out of their ass. What are you talking about? All masks do is give people a false sense of security. And it almost encourages the spread because you're more likely to interact with people, right? Because you're like, well, I have the mask on. We can't spread COVID because we have our masks on. Well, you're more likely to get into situations where you're like face to face with somebody because you feel invincible because of the mask. And then you're going to spread it because guess what? The masks, I'm sure they prevent it somewhat, but not completely. More importantly, who cares? Who cares? Okay. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? Went and voted for Tatyana. Wait, she had a primary today? I thought she was right. I would have told people to vote for her. I didn't know she had a primary challenger. I certainly hope she wins. She's awesome. She's great. Had her on the show. Obviously, I'll be pushing hard for her in November. I cannot wait for the November election, guys. It's going to be the best night of the year. Election night with Turtleboy. It's going to be our highest rated show. I need a co-host for that. I need somebody else with me. We need to have, you can come here, come hang out in my basement. We'll watch election night results together. Yeah. All right. Any last minute questions before we call it a night? Masks make blind dating. Yeah. If you go on a date with somebody, do you wear a mask? How does that work? I mean, you're going to be sucking face anyway, right? That's another thing about this. It's like they never told you to stop fucking, did they? They never said don't have sex with people you met on Tinder or anything like that. That never came up with the CDC, which it seems like it should. Unless they're like just no kissing, go straight to the bone, bone, bone. Then it's okay because COVID doesn't spread through your dick. It just spreads through your mouth. Okay. Okay. There was an article encouraging masks during sex. Well, I think that was for ugly people though, Courtney. I think that was for if you've had a little bit too much to drink and you don't want to remember this one, throw a mask on her. What does it matter at that point? She has nice eyes, right? She has nice eyes. Okay. All right. If you guys don't have any more questions, I guess we'll call it a night. I'll give you one more minute to ask them, and then that's it. Kevin O'Connor whooped Shiva's ass. That's interesting. Good crowd tonight. Good crowd. Good size audience in here. A lot to talk about. Yeah, out with the paper bags, in with the masks. Exactly. Masks are the new paper bags. That's right. Is that why I get thrown a mask all the time? Let's do a live election night. You can come on, Leah. Absolutely. What other Facebook accounts are you on? Well, I was on my real one and on Clarence. But yeah, of course we're going to watch the election results together. I'll be here. Believe me, election night here is going to be awesome. You're going to love it. And Trump's going to win. I can't wait for him to win. Every day, I check those Real Clear Politics polls, guys, every fucking day. And every single day, the news is better than the last day. Every day he's winning by more. And every day he's taking new states that he's not supposed to take. He's going to take all of the states that he won last time. I'm looking at the polls. He's whooping them in North Carolina now. He is whooping them in Florida. He's ahead in Michigan, ahead in Pennsylvania. He's going to be ahead in Wisconsin. And then he's going to take Minnesota, the riot state. And I think he's going to take New Hampshire. I'm starting to think he's going to take New Hampshire. And he's going to take Maine. That's my prediction. He's going to pick up those 3 states. He ain't going to pick, like, Colorado's done. That's a blue state now. Virginia's done. But it's going to be Trump. It's going to be the same states he won last time, plus those 3. Mark it down right now. Minnesota, New Hampshire, Maine. That's a third of New England is going for Trump, baby. Jerry had 7 people watch it with him. It doesn't surprise me. What channel do you watch election on? Yeah, CNN. I only watch CNN. I watch CNN every day. I'm addicted to CNN. I'll admit it right now. Like, I fucking love. It's so much more interesting than Fox because it's so much more entertaining for me. Because I'm like, I fucking laugh out loud sometimes at the shit they say on CNN. I'm like, who are these fucking people? Where do they come? I prefer to hear what the enemy has to say than live in an echo chamber. That's just me. Yeah. So, all right, guys. I guess we will see you all on did anyone from Kate's Past try to warn you? Yeah, they did. Yeah. I've talked about that in other blogs. All right, guys, I guess we'll call it a night then. Love you all, and I will see you all on Thursday night for the next episode of the live show. Peace, Turtle Riders.